How do you know if it's a good egg or a bad egg?
And what show is this?
Good girls.
Let me see that screen. Okay, go ahead. How do you know?
A good egg means it sinks in water. Bad egg floats to the top.
Okay, so the good egg sinks in the water?
Yeah.
And the bad egg floats. Thank you for life and food. Amen.
I love you.
He's watching Good Girls. You watching Good Girls?
Yeah, he just got arrested.
Oh, and Good Girls?
Yeah, she's getting arrested too. And just the look on his face like, how dare you betray me like that? I don't think she got her husband out of there last time. Invite team members. They got more, 3 friends.
That's one of the fledglings right there.
Okay, skip for now.
They're getting ready to fly.
My family's gonna donate, no offense, they'll probably donate to this one.
It's one of the fledglings.
I just had to share it. Wow.
because of God, Jesus Christ, the ruler of the universe, a man's child or a man's children, in my case, I have 3 children, 1, 2, and 3. Children cannot be taken away from a father, because the Messiah who rules over you and all the people that you know, whether you believe in him or not, he rules over you. And because of his power, he prevents his children from being taken away from the Father. So me, being a father and a good father, which I am a good father, my children cannot be taken away from me, because Jesus Christ says that I can have my 3 children, because Jesus Christ loves me. It's a lot what this story's about. The reason why I want you to watch this show, TPSS, or the Please Subscribe show, is because I want you to be saved. Not only trying to save myself, but in a way I am trying to save myself, but I'm also trying to save you, because I care for you. And I want you to be able to fall into the bosom of the one and only Messiah, Jesus Christ, and live in paradise rather than hell. Because I care. It's amazing how many times I've actually vlogged this American flag. It's real important that everybody understands the Constitution, that we cannot have taxation without representation. It's very, very important, because if we have taxation without representation, then we're going to create a group of men and probably women that will protect us from the people that are trying to oppress us and destroy our family. I was just now listening to, I guess, Al Stewart, Year of the Cat, and that piano opening is really one of the great piano openings of rock music. Look at that sky too. Cats are beautiful. I really like that sky. It looks like a painting. Do me a favor, somebody out there that can really paint very well, paint that with that blue truck right there. Another good 80s band is Alan Parsons Project and their song Eye in the Sky. It's a pretty good song for just a smooth beat and a great melody with great lyrics too. It's a Texas Motor Speedway, also known as No Limits, Texas. And we're waiting for a red light. There's some clouds over there. Buc-ee's is actually on the other end. So if Adam Wu and his dad want to dare it, we could all go to Buc-ee's and have some lemonade. Of course, they could just hang out at Florida and Orlando, vlog Mickey Mouse. Or they can even vlog their church or their homes. But if Adam the Woo wants to do something great, then he can meet me and know my struggle. I don't vlog the Avenue of Stars. I don't vlog Hollywood. I've been there. I've worked with some of the greats like Jim Carrey. Was taught by Ellen Bernstein. I even delivered one of her checks one time. Well, a lot of stories about Hollywood. Worked with Diane Salinger, who was Simone, Pee Wee Herman's Big Adventure. Lived in New York for a while. I gotta go, but listen, if you want to hang out at Buc-ee's, come see me in Texas. I'd be glad to talk to you. Got a lot to tell you. And I have a feeling that you know about me. And I have a feeling that your father knows about me. And I also have a feeling that you might not help. You may have to answer for that in this life, or the next. So, give it some thought. Hope to see you.
Watch out, vehicle stopped on shoulder ahead.
So another really good song is the Logical Song by Roger Hodgson. It has a very good beat, and the lyrics are actually quite deep. This is a very famous song in the 80s when I was growing up in the 1980s. Listened to it all the time. Right before I got into Metallica. There's one thing about John the Baptist was he was a crazy mother.
Can I see check the list?
Yeah, sure, you can check it. The right one, I showed it to him.
See karaage, chicken karaage, this one, right?
Yeah, LID. There you go. Thank you.
Yeah,
Put it right here.
right. Check this one. Yes.
Yeah. This is actually a South Lake court, like a South Lake area. City of South Lake. This is Civic Place. So it's Civic Place, and that's West Side District right there. This is actually a South Lake area. Right here, that's saying West Side District right there. It says South Lake, Texas. Right there. That's actually a little South Lake area. That's it's kind of a good place for like someone to get married and things like that. The fountain. Under Pressure is also a very good song in the 80s, and one thing I did want to say is that if I can learn to be slow to anger and compassionate towards my 3 children, and maybe a little less prideful, and I can be a good father, then I would love to see those children again. But I do not want to treat David the way, or Elizabeth and Gwendolyn, I would not want to treat my children the way that my father treated me, which was with no respect, no compassion, and a lot of abuse. Now, he did do some good things, but he did some wrong things. And listen, I know for a fact that people know this, because my science teacher, when I was having trouble in science, told me, I'm not going to send you home with this report because I know that you'll be abused by your father if I send this report home with you. Now, she was an older lady, and I think she even had balding hair. She played volleyball, I think, or she was a volleyball expert. A volleyball player. But she knew, she could tell. She said, I'm not going to send this report home with you because I know that you'll get in a lot of trouble, which I would have. But, you know, a child getting 70 lashes with a belt for lying about her report card, which was my sister, and me having to listen to my sister scream. Those are the kinds of things that stick with you. You know, but I have no problem seeing my father again on my terms, unfortunately. And I hope my father can understand that, because I do want to show respect, even though that he was hard. I do want to show respect to him and let him know that I would like to see him again on my terms, when we, and what I mean is we, as in W-E, as in plural, when we are ready. When we are ready. Now, there was a little mispronunciation. There was a little stutter there, okay? And I know he doesn't like that. But when we are ready, when we are ready, okay? So just give us time. In the name of the one and only Messiah, Jesus Christ. And what I mean by we, I mean family. When my family's ready, then I'll come and visit. Okay? Now, you know what I could say, right? But that's the only way. If I have to suffer the consequences of that, then that's fine. But when my family, when we are ready, we'll come visit. And that's the only way, unfortunately. So hopefully I'll be able to see you. I'm not going to say if not, but I'm going to pray to the one and only Messiah, Jesus Christ, that he grants me this wish. Now, can it be a new family? Oh, sure. I have no problem with bringing over a new family. I have no problem. I mean, my father had no problem bringing my sister and I over to see Papa Claude and Mimar when they were still here. My dad didn't have any problems bringing everybody over and, you know, regular thing, having Thanksgiving and all that stuff. So I have no problem doing that. But that's the only way. So I hope to see you, and I hope to see you pretty soon. But for now, look, there's the sun. Isn't it pretty? Watching out for my good girls. Think of something to say. Watching out for my good girls. Gonna make a payday, payday.
Good girls.
Watching out for my good girls. Think of something smart to say. Watching out for the good girls. Gonna make some payday, payday, pay. Take it, Linda.
All three girls are hot. If I had to pick one,
Funny story.
I can't pick one. I'd have them all.
He was coming through Maine, and because he changed his name to Yusuf. It's pretty good. They got him off the plane in Maine, because a lot of people from the Middle East or from that area, when they're traveling, especially military or just regular people that are coming in, they'll come in, they'll land in Maine. I think Bangor, actually, Bangor, Maine. And they took him off the plane and strip searched him, which is really big time kind of against his religion, but, or, you know, his belief system. I don't know what he was coming here for, but it's interesting. That story has always stuck with me, because You know, they obviously knew he was a musician, and I don't think they wear clothing that's very bulky or whatever, but that must have been a pretty interesting situation. You know, this country is wrong. The federal laws need serious reorganization. They need serious reconstruction. Reconstruction is probably a better word, but this country is pretty wrong. I know we've got a lot of patriots out there, and you know, January 6th, they showed their support, you know, which is, I think it was supporting the country, that move on January 6th, because they were showing that they cared immensely. Now, there was racism that was present, which is wrong. So I don't think everybody there was really in their right mind. But I think they were going back to the roots of revolutionary. When I mean revolutionary, it's kind of like when Rome fell kind of thing, you know, which I don't know if Rome was really a great example of how a country should be. I mean, Romans crucified hundreds and hundreds of Christian believers. The Romans were violent. They were selfish. They were money hungry. They felt money was a very important thing in Rome. It's one of the reasons why they kept St. Paul alive for so long, was because they were trying to follow the flow of money. It gave him a chance to write a big portion of the New Testament. But our country, I think the major problem with our country, and greed is a major problem, but I think it's power. We became very, very powerful, and we have a pretty powerful military. But I think we have a pretty powerful, I want to say republic, or democratic, but I want to say that we have a powerful nation because of its people. We always have the right to reconstruct the nation. Even when the English were here and we told the English to leave, we had to do certain things. We didn't play by the rules. Usually we won't play by the rules because taxation without representation means that I'm just going to take from you. I'm going to take from you unjustly under the eyes of God. And then God intervenes. 9/11, which I was down the road on, I believe, 21st Street, had walked up and saw 9/11 clearly, was a great example of how God can intervene in your life. And on that day, when I was walking back after a talk reporter had told me to get back because she was a reporter and she knew the buildings were going to fall, which I could have been hurt horribly because I was pretty close. I had gone back and away from 9/11. A woman had approached me with a pamphlet, and it said, "Jews for Jesus." They were Messianic Jewish people that supported the belief or believed in Jesus Christ. And when I took that pamphlet that day, it wasn't like I decided, oh, I'm going to give up my artwork, I'm going to give up storytelling. It was actually, I thought that's what I was going to do, and I was going to devote my life to Jesus Christ. But really what it was Jesus Christ telling me, you are the storyteller. You are to go out there. You are that person. I love you. And it was coming from a Jewish person that loved and believed in Jesus Christ and acknowledged him that day. And that really happened. And I took that pamphlet. I had that pamphlet for a while. I think my first wife actually got a hold of it, as well as my leather jacket, which I'd like that back. But you can keep the Jews for Jesus thing because, I mean, you obviously wanted it. I understand that there are Jewish people that are for Jesus Christ. And I know in Islam, because I know that Palestine and Hamas, or Palestine or Hamas, or in Jerusalem or in Israel are having problems right now. And I'm praying for both sides. Because I know that there are innocent people. I know there are real people in Palestine. I know that there are real people in Israel. And I think to take sides would say, well, war is okay. It's okay to launch these, these missiles or these mortar shells just blindly into that area and whoever it kills. Now, that's not right. Because what you do to others will end up happening to you, and they people believe that. So I think ultimately, when when you look at what war is, and I think it goes back to 9/11 and even further in revolutionary times, it's when you feel that it's unjust and you react and you say, stop it, stop hurting me, for real, stop it. I'm serious. Stop being unjust and stop hurting other people too. Because people are out there, they're just being unfair. And it comes back to them, they can feel it in their stomach. So what I saw was a live feed of them just launching missiles in that area. And maybe, they say self-defense. Well, there's missiles flying all over the place. It won't stop until they agree that, But I think the Messiah will someday for sure show his beautiful face, and he will crush the enemy under his heel for the sake of the people that he loves. And those are the people that reach out to him. Remember, his name is Jesus Christ, but he's also known as Yeshua. But he is the only salvation. He's the only answer, because when you fire a bomb or you fire a missile at someone, whether you're on Israel's side or you're on Palestine's side, it's not going to make any sense. Eventually, it's just not going to make any sense. War's not going to make any sense. So, but he will make sense, because he came here during a time of war, and he went out as a criminal, even though he was the Messiah. He died a criminal's death, and all he represented was peace, justice, and he represented salvation, and he is salvation. So how can you possibly pick up a weapon and kill somebody, or want to kill somebody, if in that slight second, in that slight little second, you can find forgiveness? Really what they need to understand is that forgiveness, you can't really have war and forgiveness. Let's just take it outside the whole picture of what's going on in Israel and Palestine. Let's look at Vietnam. Let's look at Vietnam. In Vietnam, there was a lack of forgiveness that went on for about 10 years. Now, some will say it was different amount of time, but about a decade, and of intense murder, of intense killing. A lot of people died. A lot of Americans died. But what ended up happening with Vietnam? Look at Vietnam today. Is it more of a democratic? Is it complete communist? No. So we were obviously wrong for being there, because Vietnam doesn't live by communist rule. What was the purpose of us being there? There was another reason we were really there. It wasn't because of communism. Okay, you got to look at things. There's a lot of wars that you can see within a country. Vietnam was its own country. There's even the American Civil War. There's a lot of different wars where we go back and we study the psychology of the generals, of the military man, of the socio-economic impact of what a war represents, and goes all the way back to World War II. Look at that war. But when we go back, every war has its own specific MO. If you look at a murderer, okay, and you study, why does a murderer do something? That murderer will have an MO. A war will have its own MO. But when you look at it, it always comes out to something that doesn't exactly make sense. I mean, World War II kind of did. Those people were in a lot of trouble. Americans went over there, English went over there, the Russians went over there, and they pulled those people out because, well, the Jewish people were in a lot of trouble. But at that time, the lights just turned on, it was cool. But at that time, the Germans thought they were right. It was law to do what they were following the law. The Germans were following the law of the land at that time, and they were wrong. So that law in that land at that time was wrong law. And that's what you need to look at, Is it right to go up to someone, pull them out of their home for no reason and just say, look, you're not of my nationality, leave? But does it happen? I think it does happen. But is it right? This is my church, go away. Well, they're like, it's my church, you go away. It's back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And that's pretty much in almost every war. in one way or another. This is mine. Go away. This is my belief. Go away. You know, and it goes back and forth. And that's why my real estate's in the sky. My real estate's in the sky. That's where I place my real estate. It's in the sky. What I mean by that is it's where my lawyer lives. My lawyer, see? My lawyer. See up there? That's where my lawyer lives. My lawyer. My lawyer. His real estate in the sky. Can you see it? That's where the New Jerusalem is. It's in the sky. It's up there. Can you have it? If you believe in the door. As a Christian man, I have to basically pray for Palestine and Israel. So I have to pay for, I have to pray. I have to pray for both sides. To take one side or the other would be saying, well, these people aren't loved by God, and only these people are loved by God. When Jesus Christ came and he died for all nations. So we pray for both sides, and we ask to cease fire. We ask for them to calm down and to be on good behavior on both sides, because Jesus Christ is their only way out of this. And that's written, that's prophecy, and that's the word of God. Hey, sweetie. Did you get was the vacuum were you able to turn on the vacuum?
Yeah, I did, but nothing's being sucked up in it. Now the damn cord's stuck in the freaking.
So what's in my Bucky bag? The Columbo's research. Okay. The Columbo style research. That's what's in my Bucky bag. See if we can see. There's a lucky symbol there. Ain't that something? Oh, easy. Ain't that something? So my beloved Linda found this right over here. Come over here and talk about it, sweetie. Over here. There she is. And she found this right here, which I thought would be exciting for you to watch on YouTube. Talk about it.
I don't know, only watched 2-3 minutes now. I'm cooking dinner, which is fine. I love to cook. I just don't like to do dishes. I kind of wish the children could be over here to eat dinner, but
yeah, David, Elizabeth, and Gwendolyn. But look how pretty.
Look how pretty it is.
Isn't that pretty?
Yeah,
and it's a pretty song. It's really pretty. Don't want to boast too much.